I thought I'd take the opportunity to have a look at the heart of the electrical system that I'm going to be installing into my 29-foot blackfin, Aussie built blackfin. Essentially what we're going to have is a Victron system. So we've got lithium ion phosphate LiFePO4 battery there. That's a single 12 volt 300 amp hour battery. That's going to be the main battery for a little while. Whether I upgrade that, increase the current capacity of the loads and everything on that battery is yet to be determined, so that's what we're using for now. We've got all of the Victron gear across here. With the heart of it, I guess, is your Victron inverter, so that's a Multiplus 2. I did my calculations, and basically the Multiplus 2 3120 was best suited for me at this point in time. Again, might be upgraded at a later point in time. Then we've got the Victron Lynx power in. So I just got these sitting there at the moment because we're going to take those off in a second. So the Victron Lynx power in for our batteries. Battery's going to come into that through a T-class fuse. That's going to be our T-class fuse that feeds from the battery and will go into that Lynx power in. Then we've got the Lynx shunt. That's going to be part of the smarts of it to get us all the data and all the information that we need to know. Then we've got our Lynx distributor. So if I take the cover off of this Lynx distributor, what we'll see is we've got our loads. So loads coming out of there. Oh, there, okay, that's fallen off already. So our MPPT comes from our MPPT, feeds around into the Lynx distributor, and then we've got another cable here that comes across, feeds up into our SAV winch controller. So that SAV winch controller is nothing more than what do they call it? A speed drop. So essentially, originally the SAV winches, now if I'm wrong here, don't get too upset, but essentially the SAV winches were just 12 volts DC, that's it. And when they're dropping or falling, because they're a big drum winch, we'll have a look at that at a later date. We'll test all of that out when we do all of our electrical commissioning and everything. But they sped it up by basically doubling the voltage, or close to doubling the voltage. So we're going from 12 volts DC to 20 volts DC, increasing the voltage, increasing the speed at which it drops. Then we've got our MPPT smart controller, smart charge controller, MPPT 100-30, so the 100 meaning maximum DC voltage into it is 100 volts and at 30 amps. So, and we've got it coming out of there, around and into our Lynx distributor. Now I'm going to have to tidy this up. What I don't like is really tight bends, especially on this sort of stuff, or where they go to a connection somewhere where they're fixed. So I'm going to have to fix that up. I'll take that off. I'm going to have to fix that up, give that a little bit more space, and just give it a bit more of a bending radius so it's not under any pressure. Well, I might just have to put some supports there, but that'll fix that up. And then we've got a Servo GX here. So the Servo GX connected to a little screen, obviously all temporary setup at the moment. Just wanted to show you what we're doing, what the intent is moving forward. All of the cables have been sized correctly. We've got everything from 16 millimeter squared, 35 millimeter squared, and some of this bigger cable is 120, excuse me. Some of this bigger cable here is 120 millimeter squared. So we've taken all of that into consideration. All of the loads, I've looked at the loads. What I am going to do later on is I'm going to do an as-right drawing, as-right diagram, and that'll be exactly as the system's been installed. I'll show you that wiring diagram later on when it's all completed, when we've finished all of the electrical systems in the boat. But that's going to be the heart of it. That's going to be what we're going to have in the boat. There we have it. I just thought I'd show you that. Oh, something that I'll have a look at here is the cheat sheet that I'm using, or the schematic that I'm using. I did with the intent that this was going to be my design, my electrical design. Let's just have a quick squeeze. So basically what you'll see is the Multiplus with the Lynx distributor, the MPPT solar panels. I'm using Garmin systems, and there's my sav winch there with the wiring for the sav winch solenoid. That's changed. The alarm systems and everything else, that's all changing, guys. So and that happens all the time whenever we, in the industry, in the electrical industry, electronics industry, whenever we start with a design, it's just a concept design. Basically, once all of that's done, we're going to do the ASWIDs. So that's going to be our critical point, or our reference point if we have any problems. If we need to know how the boat has been wired up, the ASWID diagrams or the schematics will give us all of that information. And that leads into obviously our labeling. So we've got so we've got our labeling machine here. So this one here is a Boatdiy M210. That's the one that I'm going to be using potentially to create all the labels throughout the boat. There are a lot of different ways you can do this, and machines that are far more expensive than that little Boatdiy there that we can use as well. But that's all I'm doing for this particular boat anyway. So there we have it, guys. That's going to be the heart of our electrical system. That's going to be our supply being our battery, the energy system or the storage of our energy that supplies all of our loads, including the winch and anything, all of our electronics, all of our bilge pumps, except our start motors. Our start batteries, except our motors, I should say. So I'm going to have 2 separate start batteries for that, and we'll go into that another time. But there we go, that's it. Alright guys, that was just a quick look at what we're going to do. I'm going to cut right back on some of the editing and everything else that I'm doing. There's a big video coming up. The video that I'm going to do is basically 0 to 100. The build itself, everything that I've done, well, most of everything that I've done, I've lost some footage, but the intent of that is to create something that can be used as a reference point. All of the details about the resins that I've used, the fillers that I've used, the Q-cell, the Cabasil, the talc powder, all of that sort of stuff, how I've done it, why I've used those particular products. I'll go into some of the mistakes that I've made as well, and there have been a few, so don't get too upset with me about that. I think regardless of who we are, we all make mistakes. Even as a tradesman for, geez, I'm nearly 60 years old, so basically I did my apprenticeship back in the 80s. But anyway, what I'm getting at is there's been a lot of mistakes in my trade, performing my trade over those years. So for those who think that they don't make mistakes or they're perfect or whatever, yeah, nah, I'll never ever accept that. So there we go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's get into this, and we'll have all of this installed on the boat very, very soon, and then we'll come back and have another look at it.